All right, guys, thank you all for joining. We're going to be looking at common business collocations for this live lesson. So you guys might be wondering what a business collocation is. Let's get started by having a look at what it is. So collocations are groups of words that are commonly used together in everyday language. Although they can be challenging to learn, sometimes it's hard to memorize them. Because they normally go against grammar rules, it can be a little bit difficult to memorize. So make sure that you try and memorize them and write them down so that you can remember them. And it's important to use them because collocations help improve the naturalness and the fluency of your English. So whenever you're using collocations, you're going to sound more like a natural speaker, which is why they're really important for you to use. They can be made up of an adjective and a noun and a verb and an adverb, and different types of pairs can come together to create collocations. Some of the examples we will be having a look at today are quick glance, unsolicited advice, and wreak havoc. So you can see some of these have nouns, adverbs, adjectives, verbs mixed together. Like always, let's go back just one slide so I can remind you guys to take notes, ask questions, form example sentences. You can write them in the comment section even after the live lesson. If you're watching this video recorded, go ahead and write the comments. I'll go in and check them for you. I love to hear from you guys. And try to rewatch this video in a few days because, like I mentioned, collocations can be difficult to use if you don't memorize them. Let's get started with the first one. So do business, our first collocation that we're going to be looking at. This means to be engaged in a business relationship with someone else or another company. Example, we only do business with people we know. Okay, so anytime you're working with another company or another person, selling a product or a service, you're doing business with them. Okay, so we use the verb do, not the verb make. We do business. Quick glance. Okay, so when you glance at something, you have a look at it. A quick glance is a quick look. To take a quick look at something without reading it carefully. Okay, example, he didn't have time to read it, so he just took a quick glance. Okay, so if you quickly glance over a report or an email and you don't read it carefully, you can use this collocation. You can say, I had a quick glance over it and it looked fine. Or she quickly glanced over the report and approved it. Okay, next one. This is one that I use quite a bit, vast majority. This is used to emphasize that almost all of a group. So it's the majority basically. An example sentence. According to the survey, the vast majority of employees feel like they are fairly paid. So when you're talking about most of the people in a group, you can say the vast majority of them, or the vast majority of employees. Next one, mutually beneficial. So this is when each party in a relationship shares something of value in return for something of equal value. Okay, so it's like a win-win situation. Basically, when both individuals, both companies, or both parties put something in and get something out. Okay, so they both win. An example sentence for this would be, the collaboration was mutually beneficial as both companies gained brand awareness. So both companies got something out of it. Okay. Unsolicited advice. So this is when you give advice or when you give guidance that wasn't really asked for. Okay, it was unsolicited. An example of this, some employees find unsolicited advice as intrusive and self-serving. So pay close attention to this when sharing advice, okay? So sometimes because people didn't really ask for your advice, they feel like it's not really your place to give your opinion. You might be interfering a bit too much, and you might just try to be, showing off your knowledge. This is how some people might view unsolicited advice, but what it really means is just when you give advice to people that didn't really ask for it, okay? Run a company. This is a very common collocation. To run a company means to be in charge of the company, to be in charge of a business. So to oversee it, to operate it, and to manage it, doing all the important things that are required for you to run a company. An example of this, running a successful company is one of the most challenging jobs, okay? Running a successful company. Suffer losses. This means to lose something, and usually money when we're talking in the context of businesses, okay? So an example, businesses will suffer losses if we go through a recession, okay? These losses are referring to money. Businesses are going to lose money. They're going to suffer a lot of losses if we go through a recession, okay? So you can use this whenever you're talking about companies that have lost money, marketplaces and industries. This is also a great one to use when talking about the pandemic and the financial situation that a lot of small businesses found themselves in, right? They suffered a lot of losses. They're still suffering losses till this day, maybe. Meet a deadline. So this is when you finish a task by or before the agreed time and date. By the agreed time and date means on that specific day or at that specific time. Okay, so a little bit different to before. By is when you meet it at that specific time. An example, we will fail to meet the deadline if the team doesn't work together. Okay, so they won't be able to finish something by the agreed time or by the agreed date if they don't work together. Meet a deadline. All right. And here we've got the last one, wreak havoc. This is to cause great damage, okay? This is when something really bad happens. It disrupts everything else. It causes a lot of damage and a lot of problems. An example, poor inventory planning can wreak havoc on your business. Okay, so basically if you don't plan and organize your inventory properly, then it can cause a lot of problems and a lot of damage on your business. All right, wreak havoc. So you can use that. Again, this is a great one to use to talk about what some businesses went through during the pandemic. Okay, a lot of businesses wreaked havoc when they had to fire employees, when they had to shut down their business. Restaurants couldn't accept customers in their restaurants. All these sorts of examples that caused a great deal of damage, you can use wreak havoc for them. All right. And there you have it, guys. So that's some of the common business collocations. If you guys found this video useful and you'd like to learn some more common collocations, comment and let me know, and I will make sure to create another video like this one. I really enjoyed this because it's kind of helping you guys to speak in a more natural way, and it's helping you sound like a natural speaker. And that's what I really aim to do with these lessons, is to help you guys improve your English, sound more like a natural speaker, and more importantly, learn business English. If you would like to learn more about my courses, about my one-to-one English lessons, then go ahead and click the link in the description box and you will find out some more information about me, and you can get in contact, and I will make sure to speak to you guys and answer any of your questions or any of your queries. All right. Thanks, guys. I'll see you in the next lesson next Tuesday, same time. Bye.